Hey everyone, Scott here. Today we're talking about deltoids, AKA shoulders, what they should do, what they shouldn't do, and at least one thing I can pretty much guarantee you haven't even heard of regarding the deltoids. Okay, so deltoids, AKA shoulders. What do we know about them? One, they are kind of like three muscles. They're not really like one muscle, although technically they are one muscle. So what we do know about them is they run the clavicle or collarbone around, and they run kind of a horseshoe around the scapula on a part. Like if you feel your shoulder blade right now, you feel that kind of like a ridge kind of on the back of your shoulder blade there. It's called the spine of the scapula. So essentially it runs a horseshoe around your shoulder, and that all kind of drapes over the arm like a blanket onto the insertion point, and you can kind of feel it on the side of your arm there. It'll be like a little bump where you'll feel the tendon. So anyhow, so the interesting thing about the deltoid or the shoulder is that it's kind of like the garbage dumpster of the upper body. So what I mean by that is it picks up all the scraps of movement. So whenever we're typically working out or exercising or just like going about life, we're drilled this like shoulders back, back and down is kind of like the quintessential good posture, right? So except for the fact that sometimes you're not always in that. And if you're always training in the gym with shoulders back and down and chest up and all those cues that we hear commonly from trainers and, you know, wherever as it relates to fitness or just good posture, we kind of ill-equip ourselves for the scenarios in which we'll fall or maybe play a sport or do something where we're not in this like hunkered down kind of postural position. For example, like if you're playing hockey and you know get pushed into a board and your arms have to do something funny, or if you slip on some ice or like, you know, whatever it is, we don't always land with the time to kind of like adequately prepare. So the unique thing about the deltoid is it's kind of like, don't worry, body, like I've got this. So the deltoid is one of the very few muscles that actually works best like outside of good posture. So like normally when I'm at the gym and I see someone, a gym that is not my gym because my only good form happens at my gym, but at other gyms, hypothetically, when I see people and I'm having a good chuckle at some meathead just ripping it out, like normally you'd make fun of them for bad posture. But in fact, that's almost the right thing to do when you're training your deltoids. Let me explain. So, or rather, let me give you a call to action. So the next time you do a deltoid workout, I want you to actually make your posture worse. So to be specific, what I mean by that is if you're gonna train your deltoids or shoulders, you're gonna do one of three things. You're either gonna train your front deltoids with something like a front raise or like a dumbbell shoulder press, or you're gonna train your mid deltoids, which are the lateral side, with something like a lateral raise or something like that. Or you're gonna train your rear deltoids with some sort of like reverse fly or bent over reverse fly, something like that. So guess what? If you do front deltoid activation, where are you gonna feel it? On the front. Lateral deltoid activation, you'll feel it on the lateral side. And any reverse flying, you'll feel it on the rear deltoid. That is going back to before why I said that it's kind of like three muscles or it's kind of like more than one muscles or whatever I just said. So the next time you do it, I want you to think about the exercise as for how far away from yourself you can get. So if you're doing a shoulder press, I want you to think, push, and reach. Don't just let the hands go up, but also reach with it. It doesn't take a ton, but just a little bit of reaching does some good. And so if you're doing like a lateral raise or something, don't just go up, get away from yourself. Go out as you're doing the lift. And same thing for like a reverse fly. Don't like hug that perfect posture position, right? Get away from yourself as you do that. And you'll find you'll equip the deltoid for the scenarios that it's meant for and all the garbage that we run into when we trip or fall or do sports or do stuff that's more dynamic. And so that's deltoid training 101. It does not follow the same principles that chest or back or lats or any of these other posture muscles follow. So cut them loose and get yourself some boulder shoulders.